Hey there, Morbid Maniacs! It's time for another spooky video, a part of Vlogtober. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be talking all about Robert the Doll. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of Robert's story by now. I've actually known about Robert the Haunted Doll for a long time, probably for as long as I've known about Annabelle. And I've never made a video on it, and I like to kind of document each little haunted story or scary story that I tell on my channel. So I figured I'd make a video on Robert the Doll. Plus I'm obsessed with haunted dolls, so this is perfect for me. The story starts with a young boy named Eugene Robert Otto, who was given a handmade doll back in the 1900s. Who actually gave Otto this doll is up for debate, but it was speculated that it was either given to him from a servant who worked in the home for his parents, or it was given to him as a birthday present from his grandfather, who purchased the doll in a trip to Germany. Eugene, who everyone called Gene, grew very fond and attached to the doll, even naming it after himself and giving it the name Robert. Gene lived in a home known as the Artist's Home, which was built in 1890 and 1898. Robert was a cloth handmade doll which resembled a little boy wearing a sailor suit. He had beady black eyes, a nub for a nose, a smirk on his face, and also little black scars on his face as well. He was said to be at least 3 feet in length. He was a pretty big doll. It wasn't long after having Robert that the family began to experience strange and paranormal experiences within their home. The parents of Gene would often hear him upstairs whispering and talking to the doll, but it wasn't until they heard a strange, unrecognized deep voice responding back. One night, when Gene was only 10 years old, he awoke in the middle of the night to see Robert sitting at the foot of his bed staring at him. In a panic, he let out a blood-curdling scream, which had woke up his mother, and she came running to his bedroom door. His door was somehow locked, but she managed to pry it open using a wrench. And when she opened up the door, she seen her son curled up in the middle of the bed with Robert the doll sitting at the foot of his bed, and his room was a disaster. Gene would often use the phrase, "Robert did it," whenever something mysterious or destructive would happen. The parents would often walk into their child's room in the middle of the night to see furniture overturned and toys ripped apart. When they would ask him what happened, he would always say, "Robert did it." Gene had grew what was known to be an unhealthy relationship with Robert the doll. He took him with him everywhere, and he even began speaking to him as if he were the first person. The family would report seeing and witnessing Robert change expressions and also witness him speak. They had also heard giggling and even claimed to have seen Robert run up the stairs and stare out of an upstairs bedroom window. Once, a plumber was hired to make some repairs within the home, and in doing so, he had heard some children's laughter when there was no one else in the home at the time. When he searched around the room, he noticed that Robert the doll had moved from one side of the window to the other, seemingly on his own. And the plumber had also noticed that the items which Robert was holding were somehow on the complete other side of the room, almost as if he had thrown them. Gene carried his bond with Robert all throughout adulthood, and when his parents had passed away, he moved back into the artist's home with his wife Anne. It was then that Gene decided that Robert needed a room of his own, and so he placed him upstairs in a bedroom that had a window which was overlooking the street. However, his wife Anne was always a little uneasy about the doll, and she did not like him being there. She insisted that this doll be moved into the attic, and Gene did as he was instructed. He created an entire room for Robert, placing toys, furniture in the room, and also giving Robert his own teddy bear. But Robert was not happy. It wasn't long before visitors began to hear footsteps in the attic and the sounds of someone pacing back and forth. Also the sounds of devilish giggling. Neighborhood children would often claim that Robert was watching them from the upstairs bedroom window. They said that the doll would mock them as they were walking to school, and that it would and reappear in the window. Most of the time, they would avoid the home altogether. When hearing these claims, Gene immediately went to investigate. How could Robert be in the upstairs bedroom window when he had placed him in the attic? There was no way. Gene opened the door, and to his shock, Robert was sitting in a rocking chair next to the window. Gene had to lock Robert up several times in the attic, but always discovering him in the upstairs bedroom window. Gene Otto would pass away in 1974, and it was at this point that the home went into the hands of a new owner named Myrtle. I can't pronounce her last name, so I will leave it on the screen for you guys. She had also became Robert's new caretaker. Myrtle claimed that Robert would move around the home on his own, and that his expression would change anytime someone was speaking badly of Gene in his presence. It was only after 20 years of his antics that Myrtle decided that she was going to donate him to the East Martello Fort in 1994. Many believe that the cause of Robert's evil ways were given to him by the servant who gave it to him. The woman was supposedly mistreated, and to punish them, it was believed that she cursed the doll using voodoo and black magic. It was also believed that Robert was never actually meant to be a toy in the first place, but rather a part of a window display of jesters and clowns. Today, visitors of the East Martello Fort Museum are welcome to come see Robert for themselves. He is said to continue to haunt those who come face to face with him. It is said that anyone who tries to capture a photo of Robert will find their camera to be inoperable, but upon leaving the museum, have it start working again. People are often encouraged to take photos of him. However, most attempts are unsuccessful. Robert sits inside of a glass case. Staff members have reported his facial expressions changing, hearing demonic giggling, and have even seen Robert place his hand on the glass. Robert is known to have a sweet tooth, and people often leave him treats. Robert the doll has appeared on multiple TV shows, has had his aura photographed, is a stop on a ghost tour, and has inspired a horror movie. He now has replicas, books, coasters, and t-shirts. He is said to receive letters every single day. These letters are not fan letters, but rather letters of apology. Many visitors have claimed to experience many misfortunes after failing to respect Robert. Robert has said to have been the cause of car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and many other misfortunes. Some claim that the doll's evil was somehow triggered through Gene Otto by blaming his childhood mishaps on the doll. So there was the story of Robert the doll. What do you guys think of this creepy haunted doll? Have you ever visited the museum? Did you ever experience anything super spooky when you did? And would you ever visit the museum? This is one of those things for me that, like, I absolutely adore. Like, I love haunted stuff, but this is one thing that kind of freaks me out a little bit just because of some of the stuff that's like associated with him. But it's just like Annabelle, you know, like I want to visit the actual Annabelle doll at some point and get a real photograph with her. I think that that would be amazing. But let me know what you guys think of Robert the Haunted Doll, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become Morbid Maniac. Be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And if you were not aware already, I now have an OnlyFans account where I will be posting all of my sexier content. So if you are interested in that, the link is always in the description box below, so you can go check that out. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.